Man, and then OBS started with the mic deck. Good job, OBS. Why? Guess that's my fault. Guess I should expect, right? I killed stream for the first time. Yeah. So, mark the date. Hope it doesn't happen again. I commented some code. Let's make sure I saved it. Got saved. All right, let's go in. Let's see what happens. New game. So I was saying, because the last 20 minutes are probably gonna get I found and fixed a bug with the inject point for the procedural placement of stuff. Guess I'll go through that again. Un moment. Okay. This is technically, I think, close to where we should be. First we have a map that has all of the tundra bits, or anything that matches that color that I put in. And somewhere there should be a little cross, a little reticle showing where, but there it is. We are there. We pull the world map up. We are here. And then if we find our character, the middle of the map. Okay. Trying to commit it to memory. I want to have to see. Technically see it over here. Over this side, I think. There we go. Over here. Oh, here. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Here, underwater technically. Go back to the test plane. Right. Good. Good. That's exactly where we are. Thing on the thing and the thing there. Thing. Thing. We're good. Aligned. Perfect. Next thing was move around. We're in the negative. The biome gonna end up being off. So it's we're gonna to take good. That's sus. Yeah, I know. A working being is sus in itself, right? Should work. Well, let's go around and watching it. That's what I've been doing all morning. Not all morning. Split between the two bugs. And also that rocks exist some places. But I think we only get round rocks, and every once in a while, for reasons, we get one trapezoid. Interesting. I guess it means we should lower the rate. Trying to pick out a bit. What does that even say? I need to make that bolder. Change. No. We're well into another biome, right? Update. Sampling, like somewhere, right? There we go. Finally crossing the beach. And finds that. First backwards doesn't move as fast as forwards. There we go. Then we can feather it a bit there. Okay. Where you at? I'm traveling in this direction. No, we aren't. This out. We did that right up. Okay, so to me that says it's because we crossed the line of the chunk that it's finally reading correctly. Then this whole one sampling. I know. Could also ignore. Any rocks around? For that. Our rock. They are not where I am, of course, because I went into the beach. Let's check that out real. This is weird, and I'm probably just gonna reset stuff. Actually, so it's really hard to test that without having your position put on the world map. You get to see that update because then you actually see it like stuck at borders, and sometimes it's just reading one axis. Sometimes it is stuck in a corner. Sometimes it's sampling a different place. Sometimes it's, traveling the opposite direction, then jumping to the next one, and, all these weird little behaviors that kind of tell you what's happening. Without seeing that, it's hard to have like a proper overview. So, let's start. Oh, right. Sorry. It's weird having a live editor thing. Okay, wait. Let me try and restart the file one more time. Sometimes it takes a second. You know what? There's a chance I won't even be able to tell. Oh. Got shot. I tried to pause, and I couldn't even pause. I wasn't in the game. W's in chat. Lol. No idea if the bot's working. The fact that Unity editors all have a linked somewhere via of what the UI should be. I guess it's not live, it's you're starting. It'll figure out the last settings the Unity editor had. Okay. Sure. Okay, wait. Now we have rocks. They are small though. Oh, we should just make those bigger. I think we make the meshes bigger. Things on the plate. I can write that down yesterday. Clusters inject point window. Just an update. Okay. And so many things. We do a bunch of little things today that would. This should be in art. Them rocks. Yeah, them rocks. Inspector. Skill factor to 10. I think that updates right away. It does. I don't think I saw this before. I like pebbles. I can always change that in stuff. I want a good mid-size for rocks though. Be a little bit big. double it. Okay, okay, there's some rocks. It's bad it didn't spawn on the one with the rock. Figure out how to best debug. But I think we should crunch everything down into the range of where round rocks are. Let's try that. Visible placeholders, check. Something done today. Very successful Friday. So round rock is the only one happening. So we're looking at between 0.5 and 0.7. Let's make more and have those go between tighter air. Oh, that's too much. 5? Yeah, 5, 10. Okay. Oh, using maybe flat rocks. And then I'm going to start at 0.5. And go to point. Flat rock 1 and go from 0.6. 0.65 is how minute this has to be. I guess we're using flat rock. Instead of flat rock, we'll do step. Hot spike. Hey Yag, how are you? How are you? How was your yesterday? Valheim madness. Wife and I were up kind of late last night. I'm good. I'm good. It's Friday. Is a good thing. I think. Pretty good. Definitely kill at least one bug. Now we're playing with some other stuff. So yeah, no complaints. Square. 5. 0.8. Lots of squares. Let's see what that looks like. Hopefully we can actually see it, because I got that bug. Unity, you're so jumpy. Right, yay. So what are you up to, Yag? Do anything cool? Anything interesting? Continuing on your Lua project? Or maybe Valheim's hooks have sunk in? Right now, under my skin is the idea that Vampire Survivors just got 4-player co-op. And I haven't touched it yet. And I'm also in the middle of Ratchet Clank. Like right in the middle, 50-something%. Haven't done anything today yet. Probably gonna do some offline work on the polls since you can't stream. Why can't you stream? Or you have your reasons. Important reasons. Then after probably get sunk in Valheim again. Nice, nice. Well, this is such a good year for games. Rocks, I see rocks. I see all round rocks. Okay, this is. I wonder if it's accounting for the Perlin. And then where's Grimy? Grimy is notably missing from my Friday. And I missed when he said he was gonna go, do adult stuff for whatever reason. I don't even know when he's gonna be back. And not just Friday. I mean, he was missing yesterday too. That's true. That's what you were mentioning. And oh, my weekend is also thrown into a tizzy. Oh, I hope Zombie gets here. What is... I found one thing. One thing is different. Another one. Same. I guess we're also randomizing. I could take the round one out. But the round one is now taking over everything. So wait, is there a chance the poll could be done by this tri-jam? Not to put any pressure on you, but I'm sure you've probably thought about it, right? You're looking hill round. Rarity 1. I think that's all we need. Who knows? We're still learning about the stuff that I wrote. Nah, fair. I think I heard that you got a vote counted, right? Making progress anyway. Exciting. I need to restart my computer. Which is acting funky. Okay. Oh, there's a thing. There's a thing. Okay. Now I just went to these. Is everything just like that? Oh, 0.5 or something. Yep, voting works. Congrats. That's huge. Find like a flat, kind of flattish face. That's important. That's the one you really want. You want to cover the ones where you're stretching a polygon to its absolute limits. You want to cover those up. You know what occurs to me? We might have a little randomization in the scale. Mayhaps. I might throw some of my testing off. So if voting works, what's left? Like tallying? Tallying and then making it sparkle? Giving it the old razzle dazzle? It's a square. Why was that a square? Because you're kind of flat. Also might be on an edge. Gotta get my wrap tech online. Tech. Wrap tech could be multiple systems in my game. What if I make something that procedurally generates fast lyrical music? And also something that, you know, allows texture maps to not suck at the edges. On the front end side, what's left is showing the actual vote count. Okay. Updating it so the form shows the results when its voting period is over and making it pretty. Of course. And the back end, you still need a way to author polls and let admins log in. Okay, cool. A small list. You'll conquer it thusly, I'm sure. So this has been a successful time. Why was it? What did we learn? Maybe that our range is just so tiny. So teeny tiny. Yeah, let's go. Also might be like a locally normalized map. That could be problematic. I shouldn't make up such horrible things about my own code. I'll pretend I didn't say it. Not all that small, really? Oh, I mean, if you take them one at a time, you'll be fine. Showing the vote count? I mean, you have the back end of the vote count, right? Crush that, I'm sure. Updating it, that'll be tricky, but once you get that, that's going to unlock a whole new tool in your arsenal, right? And then you're good at making things pretty. That also will trivial when it's over. Okay, so we killed Round Rock. Best thing I ever did. But now we only really have one step drop. Are they all negative? Okay, we're gonna make that one weird. Big. Okay, 5 to 6. That's too much. Let's do 5. 0.5 to 0.51. Teeny tiny. Find a flat rock if we can. You know how they say the best way to eat an elephant is one spoonful at a time? Yeah, would you eat an elephant? I don't think I'd want to. I don't know what it would taste like. No? Good to know. Yeah, I hope elephant's not on the menu. Unless somehow they become like a pest. We found a flat one. Huzzah. Okay, we have a tight range. Figure out if they're actually Do they feel like they're on similar features? I guess they're not terrible. If they were less placeholdery, they might not look too bad. Okay, wait. Them steep boys. We need them to be big. And is there anything in the base? Really need some at the base. Yeah. You to get big too. Hmm. I don't feel like I can conclusively say that, any values that'll get us good cliff rocks. I think flat's pretty good. I almost always see it on ledges. Man, I want to make an elephant enemy. Maybe not an elephant, maybe just something on the scale of it. Like real big. I have probably lots of guns, maybe a couple big ones. I wonder if we could modulate some elephant noises to make a gun sound. Magical projectile, not gun. Magical projectile. I guess, or physical. Water, extreme water jets. That actually could have an interesting effect where it's like a laser, but at the end it's like water instead of sparks. Yeah, I guess power jet washer. And then you would have that too. The more memes, the better, right? Probably put in the power wash simulation. Maybe we should even put a place where whatever you shoot either breaks something apart or cleans off the surface. I almost feel like planes I should have just really big features. A tree that takes up, like the tree doesn't have to take up a bunch of space, but the fact that it's there clears the area of a lot of things. Just trust the grass. Gotta restart system update. Sorry to hear that. Good luck, Godspeed. I'll probably never find another tundra out here. Found really big rocks. Should dig into. Actually, we can look at it right now. Can't wait to bring the water in. Oh, actually, if I can't wait to do it, let's just do it. Hmm. I want to just shove it in. I kind of want to make a package out of it, but it's kind of wrapped up in something else that I don't want to, introduce that kind of headache. It's supposed to be a simple project. Loading it just for my own needs is crazy. So where for that? You have headaches? I'm glad. Someone has to. I feel like, yeah, I don't mind them as long as I don't have to deal with them right away. Now I'm like, I just need the tessellation. I might have, okay, hold on. That doesn't help me. That's great. Do I have water around here somewhere? Just want to put like maybe cold water. It's a lot of world shape. I'll use the one broken one. Sounds so broke. Broken. I'm gonna keep the colors on for now, but we'll swap back to the atlas. Uh, yeah, okay. Where is the water? Old water there. Oh, I know where to find it. I'm all over the place. Uh, water tap. This doesn't really tell me where it's in. Lock this and danger effect. I wouldn't mind throwing in danger. Sounds like a great play. Wrote this folder in high visuals. Who invited you? Oh, you gonna? And this one itself This exists somewhere, I think. Supposed to do this. Another pass. Can't do another. Off. A real thing? Did I make that up? It doesn't like. Alright, fine. I'll look. Gonna lurk? Be in and out? No problem. Do you? And Chrome really ate it. Zombie grown. Hey, zombie, how are you? Happy Friday. What are you up to today? Besides putting the scares in my video games. Dying? Only up to dying? I believe we can find some life in you. I guess it's not against what you said, because you need to have life to be dying. Fair? We're all dying, right? One day at a time. Weather's brutal again? Heat? Dead tired, can't manage to take a nap. Sorry to hear that. Oh, I have to ask about the weekends. So I may have gotten things a little mixed up. How's your Saturday? Your Saturday also open? Yeah, my Saturday is completely open, and then my Sunday I have a few hours. I can shift those hours to whenever, but sorry, I found out that that schedule is different than I thought. Why can't I open Unity? Thank you, Unity docs. Hell off. Just like mine, but only in in a subshader. Probably doesn't like the. Gotta find a new one. Your Saturday starts in 3 hours. A fair observation. Roughly 12 to 24 hours, yes. Exactly that. So like, I don't know, more like 17 hours? Maybe more, maybe a little bit more. Make it a double feature. Nice. Seen one double feature in my life. It was a thing. It was good. What was it? It was Tomb Raider and AI at a drive-in. Yeah, no, I got rid of. Oh no, I didn't get rid of. Fine, no better. Oh, Zombie, you missed it. I absolutely crashed the stream. I don't know how exactly. Something about writing a texture over and over from Unity killed Unity, and it crashed OBS, and it crashed parts of Chrome. And I'm still dealing with the residuals of Chrome. It was fun. You're gonna take your hot end apart in parallel? Sounds good. At least not Oppenheimer and Barbie. I feel like they're both wildly interesting movies, honestly. I kind of want to see both of them, but not until they're like somewhere streaming at a sane price. You missed it? It was 20 minutes into the stream. Yeah, so we're gonna cut that off. That never happened. Wonder what it looked like, because the closed captions didn't crash actually. Closed captions kept going. And I came back and I forgot to unmute because of course it starts muted. That's a wise thing for it to do. Anywho, we're here now. Enjoying the Friday. We got some rocks on the train. I figured out how to get the procedural start point to work. Yeah, we're always in somewhere a lot closer to the biome we're choosing than we were before. So yeah, generally good. Yeah, I can't really test. The one thing that crashed the stream is the one thing I need. It's the one debug tool that really helps me figure out why the biome sampling for the minimap label is off. Not that it's so necessary. Especially now that we're spawning kind of close to what we need anyway. It will be necessary at some point. I'll deal with it later. Scattered today. It's your only time today? I feel like maybe did I put all my effort in the morning and now at 3 o'clock I'm just like completely scattered? And go to village generation again. Yes. I think I need to structure it differently anyway, so we don't even need to touch the placeholders yet. But I don't know. Every time I think about the placeholders, it reminds me that like we actually need to think about how we put it together, because we don't think about that well enough. We end up getting stuck with very rigid or samey procedural generated crap. Okay, that one's buried. That's not good. That one's more believable. Oh yeah, that's right on a cliff. Okay, cliff rock. Kind of need top of cliff rock and bottom of cliff rock. Okay, that's going to be a trick that I don't know how I'm going to end up doing. Gonna take some thinking. Do I have brain power for that? I don't know. I almost forgot that I needed to fix 3D printer. So easy to just get right out of my mind. I should probably do that before we hang out. To remember to take it apart. Have you printed any aesthetic pieces with the printer yet? Or you end up taking it apart again? Oh, wait, did you ever get the nozzle bent? Also might not be the right term. The venting? Tube? Tube. We are a rock. I thought it was money. Haven't printed anything more yet. Okay, wait. Fair. Someday you're gonna print something. It'll be the most amazing thing ever. Everything building up to it for years and years was just test prints and printer tweaks. Okay, so I get these on edges. I'm gonna have to actually figure out stuff. Otherwise, we're just gonna have walls at every chunk. Why did I think this would be easier? Guess we could push the steepness into the graphics for the terrain, maybe? Can actually see if they're. It used to work. It used to work. Need the part cooling, but you have an idea. Probably won't bend the tube, but create some tube holder so you can use straight pieces. Okay, so do you need to balance the pressure that it's coming out with how far it is from the nozzle with the angle that you're gonna do stuff? Maybe angle doesn't matter. Take that out. But yeah, the length of the pieces to make whatever like square circle that you're gonna make. I would think, yeah, if you make it too big, it doesn't work, and if you make it too small, it might. Maybe that's what's happening with my hot end. Maybe it's just cooling during some weird downtime. It's picking up crud on the outside. It's kind of like heating and I don't know. The nozzle is not exactly the cleanest thing in the world. I don't know how it got dirty. I did it dirty. It dragged itself through some weird stuff, and it's not me. But that does sound cool. Sounds like a good idea. Doesn't matter. Every hot end needs some TLC every now and then. True, true. Not after every print. I need this to work. You know, I might need to modify my hot end. I'm thinking about it, there might be some wear marks that probably shouldn't be there. Hey Icon, how are you? It goes. It goes. We're pushing stuff. We fixed some bugs. We're now more consistently in the right place. That's good. Less geriatric moments, I guess. Will get me there. That's good. On we go, right? Zombie is a superhero. One of the unspoken ones. True champions. But so is Icon. So is Icon doing the whole podcast thing. That can't be easy. Oh yeah, we could put Icon in the credits, absolutely. Absolutely. I need a hero to write a bot. That's just like if you say if you're here for more than a few streams, you just throw the name in. And then of course I'm gonna remember the real homies because over the years that it's gonna take, we're probably gonna accrue quite a big chat room roll call. Then we need like Coding with Strangers, we need Icon, we need Zombie, we need Catless, Grimy, Jag. Oh yeah. I don't know if I would have kept my sanity without you guys. Sounds like a plan. Right? Maybe that's somewhere where you can just like find and flick through. Because I'm not gonna lie, when you have credits that are too long, I just like can't. I try, but it's too much. If you just broke it down, put a place in the game where you can just find something and you can flick through at your own pace and just find whatever. Maybe even have a little search bar if you're looking for specific names. I'm down with that. Yeah, so you're probably not at the end of the credits. But the true homies at the end of the credits. Special thanks to. It should be an Easter egg. Probably should be an Easter egg because it can take you out of things. I'll have to think about it. It should be done elegantly, right? Otherwise, instead of being like cool supporters, you're like villains that destroyed the version. We can't have that. And I have some stuff to fix. We going down. We deep. Feels a little backwards, but you know, tectonic plates or something. In other news, Humble Bundle got currently a pretty neat sound effects music bundle. Ooh. I have to check that out. What kind of sound effects does it have? Guess I can pull it up in a second. I like have a burp. It's in there, I can feel it. Oh wait, hey. Hey. What this? What this? Got some trapezoids. Okay, where are the trapezoids happening? Do I have an altitude thing on? Why are you here? Not anywhere else. I guess you're on edges. That kind of makes sense. Hmm. I don't understand. I really wonder if maybe we're maybe sampling the wrong place. These lines actually match up to something else in the world. And it's sleuthing time. In a second, bundle is neat, but downloading from Humble is annoying AF. I requested, and I'm not going to say they did it because of me, but I asked them for a, especially when you get book bundles, a download all button. You know, just like, or bulk, like as many as you can. Even a drop down, just be like all of the Mobies, all the ones that come as Mobies, just download all of them. It's like so annoying to go and get individual ones, and then it took like a year, and then it popped up, and I was like, oh my god, they did it. They did the thing. It's always missing something. I don't mind as long as it covers the majority. I'm good. What am I looking for? Undanger, I type. Let me type Humble. And my brain's all over the place. Splattered. You need to find out what is missing. True. I saved maybe. I'm sure it was a highly requested feature. 49 out of 50, good enough? See? Yeah. You probably won't even notice, right? And when you do notice, you just go do the thing. Chrome is dying. What did I do? Why does Unity hook into Chromium at all? Why does it touch that? Because it does, doesn't it? Otherwise, why would it? Or maybe it's a graphics card thing? I don't know. Probably demons? Let's blame it on the demons. That's a good one. See what we can do to put not the biomes on the thing, but the steepness output. Which one? do we even need to do it? I think we do. Fine. Whatever, just do it. Clean it later. Yeah, good. Can't even search Humble Bundle. Oh, what? At least the Unity asset bundle got bundle key for the asset store. It's not bad. Brings you 451 assets on the store. That's hefty. I'm only in probably double digits and most of them are free. Dang, zombie, you could probably do a whole game jam. You could just put a whole game together with that. Probably be a very weird game, but not. Okay, yeah. We just play the game. Play the game, see the weird texture. A lot of bundles, a lot of stuff you don't need, but actually some assets up to 150 purchases as is without discount. 150 money is, I mean, that's not bad. And those, I feel like those things, they're either going to sit untouched or they're going to steal my time learning them and then deciding if I want to integrate them and probably not integrating them. Okay, wait, where am I? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I've changed ground. That's why it doesn't. Yep, okay, never mind. Okay, so we have some ugly seams. Okay, seams go burr. Excuse me. It's like with Steam games, let's not talk about back libraries of Steam games. That might be why I don't want to get so many unique assets, because I'm also like, I know I have a lot of good games in there, but I also have to wade through a lot of bad ones to even remember what good ones I have. And sometimes you're like, oh, I know I have that, I must have that. And then you go into your library and it's like not there. And of course it's not on sale, and you find out it's never been on sale. What alternate dimension did I think I was in? Anyone else, or is that just me? Like, that's a thing, right? Oh, that's just a corner. Hmm. Almost need to see it unlit. I don't know if there's anything to. Pretty eek. Yep, and of course colorblind, so I have a hard time on this seam. Hmm. Staring, just thinking about stuff. Right, steepness. What do I do to make you? Okay, yeah. Height of this minus that. Okay. And then average. So this one is actually just an average of, okay. Now it's just A. I really want to. Yeah, it's getting the difference, like a localized difference, like a really bad normal map. And it only gets more expensive if I have to do it twice and go through everything and normalize. Try normalizing it. Let's do the dumb thing I just said I didn't want. Check out the audio bundle if interesting soon. Only 2 days to go. I don't know. Internet cover. I have some pages working, but some things are just dead. I don't know. I think my computer needs a restart, but I'm get on that. Stream stuff. I don't want you guys to miss me. Height are we doing? We're doing local height. New very brief idea. Let's check out the hijacking. Height pixel. What does the height look like? A localized height, then, of course. The sky just opened up and rain came out. Maybe I should look into getting a stream PC so I could restart my main PC and stream could still be up. I mean, I could also like go for a quick walk in the rain. I might still do. Mayhaps. Yeah, you only get one rain. Herb. Okay, we're back. Got wet danger, and you got some rain lighting. And I love fluorescent lights in the rain. So warm about the like yellowness and the gray from the windows. So homely. This is our localized height. Doesn't seem right. Oh, actually. Never mind, when I look at it like that, it's like, of course, it's perfect. Can you see that? Build settings, get out of here. Yeah, you can see that now. Can you see that it's stepped? Then that gets in the way. And this is for this one, so yeah, okay, that's technically working. Though, is it upside down? Let's speak. Yes, valley. Okay, what does this one look like? Why is that one all white? These might not take into account run. Can I drop the noise gate? My. There's some rain for you. Water? I've grown to like water, personally. But whatever does it for you. I feel like one of the first nervous breakdowns I had in my life was to Red Bull. Red Bull and Monster, so I don't do energy drinks anymore. It was an extreme circumstance, yes, but they also don't work well with my stomach. Coffee. That ship sailed for you? For me, I was waiting outside a Circuit City, which is an electronics store in the US, or used to be, waiting for a PS3 for launch. I waited outside for like, I don't know, like, was it really like 72 hours? It was a long time. It was way too long. I sat outside, and then some scalper hired some people to sit outside with me. You know, it was a fun time overall. Can't complain. But yeah, oh my god, that last night was something. Around 4 Red Bull and 5 to 7 coffees are your limit? That's intense. 10 coffee, but then you see me running every 2 minutes? Man, on some of my worst days, I'm definitely taking trips to the fridge and back, like, every 5 minutes. Wait, which one was I even on? Is it this one? No, it's not even open. And that's all white, huh? This, it must be this. Okay, so it's localized. But that's a white streak, and it shouldn't... It's folded like a taco. Like, I guess I see where that has some height going on, but... I think it should have more of a bias. I guess there's a bias here. Is it weird that it looks different depending on where my screen is viewing this little square? Hmm. Do you have the same thing? It must be sampling the wrong spot. Could be inverted. That's more believable. Okay, see, it has a trench, it has a little upturn at the end. I do feel like the trench has shifted a little bit. I wish there was a quick toggle to just make it unlit. That would be fantastic. Just toggle off directionally. What does that do for us? Nothing. Wait, what does validate albedo even do? Hello? Not a pure metal. Curious. I've never touched this before. This is above maximum luminance value. Okay, so we are clipping in some spots. That's not the worst if it's accurate. Also doesn't super feel accurate. Unless it's the purlin. The purlin could be throwing things off enough, I guess. Hello? What is the... Is it sampling absolutely wrong in the negative? Okay, okay. Let's investigate a bit. Going to the positive. Let's just double check positive. Good vibes. Let's find some positivity. Some correctness. Come on, world, get with it. This is weird. And again, I don't know how valid this is. I don't know if I should really be taking this for anything valuable. It's weird. The audio bundle has a goblin voice? Oh no. I mean, you know why that would be worrisome. I don't know what the voice is supposed to sound like. So I put a voice to it, I can't unhear it. What's happening? I should also check this in just shaded. It means nothing. Nothing means anything. Okay, never mind. Do I want you to push a few samples to Discord? It's not bad. I guess. Sure. I'll be adventurous. It's a Friday after all. Interesting. So I like that we have some sort of mountain range thing going on. I feel like I can see this vein. I feel like that does not reflect in the preview. What is that? Why aren't you beautiful? I need something. I need some sort of data to point to anything. Because where we started, it worked well. Matched relatively to features that were happening. In general, of course, spam the channel more. Yeah, I don't know where else to put it. If you have any ideas on organization, I'm listening. There's no rain anymore. I'm going to throw the noise gate back. Orb. I don't know if I like the words. It's not bad. Yeah, I think I just like the random sounds more than the ones that sound like actual trying to say. Bad, but then you need everything to come from something that sounds just like that. It could be okay for placeholders, I guess. Words, I mean, yeah, Iki, Icona, Shiniki, Shiniki. Totally sounds like they're trying to make some sort of thing. So the last one sounds like general disgust. I like that one. Okay. Can't do it. I would need to loosen my throat up. We need vocal exercises. It's not bad though. Like a Klingon, yeah. I mean, yeah. Why didn't they put more effort into Klingons? Or why was there some skill ceiling around Klingons? That's the question. Height pixels are questionable. Do we keep poking? Local too. That they're local. Uh, let's see what we're working with. Just the base. That line up. Local kinda lined up. They totally ruined zombie sounds again. Would you like to reprise the role of zombie? Hey, Catless. How are you, Catless? Happy Friday. Not just go away all the time. What did you get? Did you get coffee? I might get another hot cocoa. That was a lot. Look at all them rocks. Why are they all flat rocks? Like, virtual no difference. Virtually no difference. That's why we need local. I like flat rock. I mean, there should be different types if they get split. Odd. Coffee brings out my natural smugness emoji. That's fair. That's fair. Should I go get a hot cocoa? 1 in chat for hot cocoa, 2 in chat for day. Leave. Don't make me decide. I might wander away. That's the kind of day it's been. Why aren't you different? I guess because it's all just height. So I wonder, is it actually being culled in some places? Or is it? That's probably a biome cull. Actually, it's kind of cool that maybe there's some. Oh, I'm making things up. I'm inventing. Not in the good way. Also need a way to quickly switch between what map we're get lost without my biomes. The height doesn't have variation for me to know. Do we go 16-bit? So what are you working on, Callus? Working on anything interesting today? Are you rebuilding, or did the rebuilding finish? Oh wait, you were working on smoke too, right? So local heights and almost. Maybe that's what we. Okay. Also get lowest value and do a complete remap. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's the thing. Just dumb, I know I'm smart. You're planning a life of crime? Your PC is blue screening, and with the prices as they are, it'll take at least a couple of bank heists to build a new one. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, so what's the side hustle? What's the idea? What's the totally legal cover that we're gonna embark in? That's not against terms of service. Then we need this to be local, right? Let's make this equal to math f.lerp 0 to 1 Inverse alert. No, not infinity. Inverse. We're going between lowest and highest. High, what is the actual? Gonna get remapped. Now we'll show those heights. Please be. So are they getting blue screens? Is it Houdini? I feel like that might be comes with territory kind of. The pain and the very complex. Dot A. Missed it. Dot A. Shouldn't be Houdini related. Well, if I can offer my cheap 2 cents without knowing anything about your problem, sometimes blue screens are a result of an aging power supply, which can make it look like other parts of your computer are malfunctioning. But that's always the first thing I would check. Bit of TLC? Fair? Yeah, when's the last time you updated your firmware? I feel like I've been recommending many people update their firmware, BIOS, the stuff that comes with their MOBO. Usually happens after wake up from sleep mode. Oh man, that's age old. I don't tend to do sleep at all, honestly. It's like, you go to like whatever your motherboard manufacturer website is. You find all the drivers in firmware and BIOS updates for your specific motherboard and just, download and install all those. Yeah, wake up from sleep mode? Yeah, that's fair. MOBA's worked almost a decade. You don't want to risk an update. Okay. I mean, it's real, but what a precarious situation. What are you willing to change to try and make it better? What do you think might be the problem? I'm gonna make that hot. I'll be back. I hate my Keurig. An amount of time. Hopefully not too long. All right, I'm back. Since it's something that started happening and now happens more frequently, it sounds like it's an aging component. Likely culprits would be the electrolytic caps. Okay, the hardware issue. Also reminding that this MOBO survived a lightning strike. -1 for it. Yeah. That is true. Hmm. We just need a good get-rich-quick scheme. If you ignore graphic card, then prices aren't actually that bad right now. True. True. AMD's come up a bit in price though from their standard. No? I thought they did. Hmm. This is just thing. Times could just equal color dot white. That makes sense. Multiply that by the letter. Gotcha. Those new video cards were priciest parts back then as well. Yeah, but man, have they gone up? Have to try to do things that occasionally take a farm to render. Well, you know, sometimes you just leave your computer overnight. Sometimes I just leave my computer overnight, rendering some big things. Though honestly, I don't know. Got to a point where I think our computers aren't that different. But yeah, with my current build, I haven't needed anything to be left overnight, just for like a few hours while I eat dinner, hang out with the wife, you know. You don't do much rendering. You take too much time. Fair. I mean, that's why looking into Unity's good, right? Unity is real time and can look pretty decent if you're willing to. That. Look at that. I mean, it's a little buggy. Maybe it's not buggy. Maybe it's just because it's biased. You get some same general flow. Why does it think this is the high? This has to be sample, right? Please. I don't know. It kind of makes sense. That's light. Backwards? Is it all just back? You know, it's something. Happy about that. It's something. You have a Ryzen 3600 CPU with board and 16 gigs RAM somewhere if you want it. I mean, that does sound like a minor upgrade. Maybe not so minor. At least a temporal upgrade. All the fun stuff, simulations, that's almost no upper limit to how much compute you could sink into them. This is true. Okay, so what I'm going to say, right, is if I'm looking at EmberGen, and I'm looking at how much the cards and the VRAM can add to your simulation, I feel like the bigger the card, the bigger the simulation I can do. But that also means the more time it actually takes for me to do that, because it's literally just more space that I can fill with whatever. Like in some ways it's like, yeah, I can expand the fields that I'm working in, but in others it's like, well, at some point I am now expanding way beyond what I need. And I don't think it's that far away from like getting beyond what I need. Beyond what I need could be, Hollywood level stuff, just entire warehouses blowing up with multiple explosions in one scene. I don't really need that. And if I did, it would just take, yeah, again, so much time. Not that it's not worth doing, but again, if you scale down, you're fine. I'm fine. Are you sending a 3 terabyte hard disk drive and some small SSDs to Kazakhstan next week? Cool. And cookies for reasons. I'm sure someone's going to be very happy with that. You expect cookies going the other way? More cookie exchange in the future? That sounds good. Is it too hot? Kind of. Basically, you let your moms bake the cookies. It's a good way to do it. No, I'm willing to shove this in to stuff. They're local. Takes the steepness on that. So let's see what the steepness looks like. Stuff that nice high contrast. And what kind of cookies does your mom bake? All types, or? My mom doesn't bake cookies. My grandmother had, they like famous. Like everyone knew her for baking cookies and giving out tins of cookies. And her cookie was a chocolate chip. Good. Real good. You've yet to test EmberGen? Seems like a fun program. Once you hit small project renders real time, the project naturally scales up. Probably a law of some kind. Yeah. Though it's not hard to have grand schemes that you do over a short period of time. Okay, all right, that's something. That's something. I'm happy. Why is it doing like an edge detect and everything else is gray? That's what I do. And then this looks like it's shifted. That has to be off, right? That needs to be for here. Kind of cool. Let's run around on it. I guess I could move the character faster. Start dragging around. And it's straightened out. Okay, that's proof. It has to be off. Just shifted over by half. All the time. Sometimes she goes absolutely wild around Christmas and starts baking nonstop for weeks. Like a lot of cookies. That's nice. Every once in a while, my grandma would do the they called like the thumb jam cookies. I liked those. I like cookies with jam. The wife's family used to get us. I'm going to use the British term because I don't really know anything else. Dodgy jammers. They were like a vanilla cookie with cream in the middle, and then the top cookie had a hole, and in the middle it had like a nice gooey jam. And I think like some sugar sprinkled on top or something. So good. You love those? And yeah, I can eat a whole tin of those. What's up, D8? How's your Friday going? Working on anything cool today? Miserable? Coming down with something? Maybe COVID? Oh my god. Well, I hope that it just clears up suddenly and miraculously. My hopes and prayers to you and your loved ones that it's not COVID. That would be 4 horsemen of sickness. Congestion, fevers, aches, chills. Eee, that's bad. Wonder if that's what got grimy too. I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Just finding all sorts of bugs. Pretty sure that is fine. Good. Yeah, pretty decent. Excited about a weekend-ish like thing coming up. Friday. Friday's great. Finally figured out your shader rendering issue. Ooh, cool. What were those? What kind of shader were you writing? River's still a little weird. Not getting those cool lines we were getting. Maybe just not that I can see as well. Oh, that's a bit better. They end a bit abruptly. Maybe we could normalize this. Maybe. Combination of things. Unity doesn't properly support shaders in UI. Okay, fair. So you have to use screen space camera to render. Okay. And your choppy, jagged looking texture icons was due to your due to your dumbass running a smaller resolution on your TV when testing. Okay, fair. Get that headache sorted. One of those issues that just constantly glaring you in the face, couldn't ignore it. Yeah, I have a few of those. But that's the fun of game dev, right? Like I don't know. Yeah, game dev's such a weird thing. And shaders, I also find Unity shaders are just like jungle. You have to like search around for the right answers. Gotta pray someone complained about it before. So it's just like an average height difference. Oh, thanks for the follow. Are you already following? No problem. Yeah, always appreciated. Just difference in height. I don't know. Too small brain for this. Try and push something different for now. Maybe set this back to showing biome. Back to biome for now. Well, yeah, that steepness is not super gonna help us find the proper place to put props. Not for now. Maybe we'll go to village. Yeah, D8, what kind of game are you making? And if you're too dying to like respond, that's fine. You just feel well. Take care of yourself. Hop back into our clown shoe landscape. Yeah, maybe we'll make our sacrificial thing for our raid village today. Because we have no bounds. We're working on whatever we're working on. I do wonder if we're going to find random rocks kind of well placed. Nice to have a semblance of looking right. That way I could sleep. Wake up, cold sweat, thinking about how horrible things are. And this time it's not on purpose. Everything's off by half. Actually, everything is off by half. Does that just make sense? Not quite. So this would shift over. I don't really know enough about over here. I guess this might be kind of telling me that. Bumps here. Oh, it's smoothed out. How hard is that? So you're working on an FPS arena, but you wanted to do something fun and quirky. So you can only use rocket launchers and use fire slow-moving rockets. Oh, you're firing slow-moving rockets that can be temporarily guided by a rechargeable laser. That's pretty cool. You want the movement to be fun, and you want to test out a bunch of ideas, like melee, because bashing people with launchers sounds hilarious. It does sound pretty good. Battling rockets back, mirrors to bounce lasers, and a few other things. Sounds cool. Sounds really cool. Have a bit of strategy to how you fire and utilize the laser. That's the plan anyway. Sounds good. I mean, would you just have like a mirror shield then? Because you don't need to shield from the rocket, you just need to deflect lasers. It could be cool. Need to. How do we shift? It only in X. That looks like it might be both. I had something else to be it to make sure it's not okay. One up. Oh, we can shift it and try. I don't know. Might be a monumental change. This might be one of those things I don't want to just rush into because maybe it's not. I think it is. Oh, wouldn't be here. Hmm. Okay. 5. Mayhaps. Also mean that we need to do a plus up here. Otherwise we're not shifting. We're like cutting most of it off. Probably test mirrors being a part of the map as well to push-pull hazards that can affect the rocket. Sounds nifty. I think level design would be a huge part of it. Text Mesh Pro? Why do you ask, Zombie? Oh man, we spawn back in, we might not have a nice preference. Went through everything before you realized that was your resolution, including regenerating font assets. Yeah, TMP's pretty nice until you get in the weeds with it. I feel like the font assets are a little bit tricky. A little bit. Oh, look at that. Well, definitely off. Only in the X. Hmm. I'm just almost. Wasn't. Hmm. A little confused. It was just offset. One axis. Or one went in the wrong direction. Okay, so one of these we should try. Like this one. Just a little trial and error. So D8, how much of your game do you have going? Do you have like a level and some tests? Or are you still putting it all together? We're working on shaders. That sounds like it's further along. So annoying? What's annoying? Like Text Mesh Pro font assets? I kind of agree. I tend to, like, I'll make a new font asset if I need to, which will take me a few minutes. Uh, and then I'll try to do everything with just putting tags in the font instead of like changing colors or what have you. You end up having to make one for everything. Oh, there it is. Right. Why does it feel like we're off in both axes now? Okay, everything went wrong there. Very, very good to know. That's right. Yeah, the font generation. You have a test level, the basics for an FPS, and some of the MP replication. Okay. Been doing a bunch of UI stuff in parallel with the game player manager. Haven't really done anything with gameplay wise lately. Okay. What kind of networking are you doing? Are you using one of Unity's solutions? Sorry, I'm out of date with like what Unity's networking solutions are. Just keep popping up. And then there's a ton of third party. Put rice in the cooker, forgot to turn it on. Oh, sorry. Started with Unity's netcode for game objects, which is supposedly decent now. We saw coherence, and that looked really simple. I don't think I've heard about coherence, but yeah, the Unity's netcode just got a big update, so. And it is nice for some things. Like I think they have network emulation. Makes me kind of want to try it. I would look up coherence, but computer had a little kerfuffle. You're using coherence now? Oh, okay. Not sure if you're going to make the switch. Thing here. Hello? Did I crash Unity again? OBS still seems to work. Time to Oh yeah, we have to force kill. It only created one. It just keeps going. Bye, Unity. Kind of want to learn the hard way. Well, if you're using Unity's networking stuff, you're not doing the hardest way, which is probably a good thing. The hardest way is rolling your own thing from just sockets. I've done that. I've gotten up to the point of actually having a separate server that gives you like codes so you can get into remote servers and like connect with people, and I crashed. So I have no idea how much I have. I have socket networking. I don't think I have the server stuff anymore. Like matchmaking stuff. I think that's gone to the winds. Not much of that. Trying to stay away from rendering stuff too. I mean, you're already doing shaders. You're doing more rendering stuff than that, then fuck. Shaders are super powerful and wonderful, but they are the defense. You can use them simply, but there are people using them for mind-blowing things. Why does this keep crashing? I do. Killed it. Goodbye. Am I being impatient? Maybe. Oh yeah, okay. I could see why this is a problem. We shouldn't start with a bad sampling position. But plus used to do that. The plus the actual problem. Okay. Try some madness. Trying to use them simply. That's a pain in the ass to get going. You had to do the whole URP switch and yada yada. You just want to code. Yeah, I have a hard time supporting Unity past a certain point, and I feel like some of it's splitting off into packages, and the whole way they handle the render pipeline now is just nuts. And all the new code they put out is also just not my favorite code that they've ever written, you know? Documentation's getting worse. Wish I could get off this train. Fishnet? I will be looking into Fishnet. Don't rely on Unity's multiplayer. The past has showed that they just can't do it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I won't disagree. Hey, Unity. Task. This one did work, right? Like that. Fishnet and Mirror. Another you can't remember. Was it there was one that was called like Nakami or something like that. Someone's like, it's amazing. It has everything you would ever need. I don't know if I need a storefront built into my Unity game from day one. You want to avoid third-party solutions where possible, but you also don't want to make it too hard on yourself. Yeah, it's a constant battle figuring out where to actually put the division of labor. I guess the division of your labor. Do you bother learning other people's solutions or building your own? You want some control of your interp and how much you manage things instead of just a plug and play setup that you gotta learn how to get around. Yeah. I mean, I've also come through some networking stuff. My conclusion is that I also shouldn't be trusted for all of the decisions. I have opinions that are not all right. But coherence does look promising. You just don't know about their whole credit pricing thing. Oh yeah, when you say credit price, I'm gonna say go with fishnet. Go with fishnet. Samu was saying about how locally deployable it is. That's the right way to put it. Think just this. I hope. Hmm. Now it's a trash fire, so we'll keep that. Remember how easy it is to mess this up. And um, we'll put a minus here. Biggest mistake of my life. There's also Thora, which you believe is new. When you saw another dev setting that up for his game jam, the whole time you thought he was just making an easy peasy game, but really he was doing it to show off this cool Twitch integration system he and his team made called Echelon or Echelon. Interesting. Yeah, so many solutions. And once you name your solution, it gets put into a folder of things that are now too big for me to actually want to dive into. I will eventually, maybe, but you know what I mean? Give it a trendy name, all of a sudden you're swept up into the whole like, oh, I need to know all the names of all the things and a new documentation and a new API. So maybe I do want to do some Twitch integration. Maybe I want to do it. This kind of feels like a Roll it again once. He's looking for indie devs to check out his platform. Give it a look. It's pretty interesting, but you feel like its usage is very dependent on the game. Okay. I mean, if he wants devs to check it out, is it just for exposure, or is it because it will eventually be a paid platform? I don't need to get baited into spending money. I can bait myself into spending money. You can earn rewards through playing that you would be able to redeem during gameplay through your dashboard live. So Twitch viewers would be pretty much doing the drops thing, right? Except it doesn't take you to the Amazon Twitch inventory system. Hey. That right. They look right. That's concerned. Might not have the factored in. That would explain why it doesn't totally match up, and that might just be copium. I might also be willing to take that copium. All the way to the bank. Curious, is this gonna mean that for some reason when we bring chunks back in, chunks aren't gonna line up? Or biomes? Biomes gonna line up better now. Be doing biomes the whole time. Silly me. Not sure to be honest, but it looks like he's working with Twitch because they featured him on the front page when he was ready to show it off. I mean, that's pretty nice. Is he a big streamer? I think big streamers, they try to feature on the front page anyway. Which is not necessarily the greatest at highlighting small streamers. Mainly because it cuts into their bottom dollar. That is cool. That's the dream, right? I was wondering about applying for that dev badge that you can get. Twitch recognize me. Recognize my video game. Or not. You know, I don't want to get like an early mature rating from Twitch. They see my game and they're just like, you know, we're just going to say this should never be seen on Twitch. Thank you for showing this game to us so we can highlight it. Thing to be aware of. He's averaging 50, then it shot to 7K? Dang. Once his time ended, it dropped down to 2K, then slowly teetered off. Interesting. He must have known it was going to happen. I think Twitch communicates pretty well with that stuff. How would I know if the biome was off? Biome actually match up to the height? That was something we were going to do. That's on the list. Actually get the mountains and the rivers factored into the heat maps. Sure. Cold, dry mountains. Tech is cool. You don't know about it being the future. You could already see ways to integrate it into your game if you decided to. I mean, it seems cool. I feel like there's tons you could do with Twitch integration if you just consider it like two apps or like two parts of one app. Seems totally reasonable. Also, yeah, you have to be careful. You don't want to make something that is just better on Twitch, because then when you're not playing Twitch, or if you saw a streamer playing it on Twitch, knowing that your experience is going to be worse because you don't have viewers that are giving you bonuses as you play, kind of sucks. Kind of makes your game not really playable by most people. Unless you become the next like Cult of the Lamb, you know, and it's just every streamer ends up playing it for like a week. Main selling point he had was how it was supposed to help exposure of small streamers through the design choices they made. Yeah, you need to sell me on that one. How would I don't know. I don't think you can help the exposure of small streamers without Twitch just pointing out small streamers. I guess this is another way to highlight it, but you already have like the game label at the bottom and you can click that and find other people playing the game, right? Have anything all now? I think we have it lined up. I don't know that I see anything. Oh well, we got something accomplished. Got multiple things accomplished. You know, remember the whole talk? But basically, performers would be shot to the top of the dashboard instead of people with more views. So if you're good, you'd appear near the top. I mean, that sounds like something, again, that Twitch really needs to do. I don't have a ton of faith in Twitch's ability to do things. Like, they're not as bad as Kick. Kick's services are pretty horrible. But yeah, Twitch does not necessarily implement things properly, so that'd be interesting. But also, they have like psychology metrics that support why they push high viewer streams, and the recommended streams do already take into account the game that you're playing. Or you mean actually performing well in the game? I feel like that's going to backfire, where you're going to get people that are not interacting at all up and recommended and people are just not going to watch. Oh, or you could easily game the system, right? Games are not that hard to break, and then all of a sudden you're actually messing with the Twitch algorithm for recommendations. That's, I don't know. We'll see. There's more to it, but you were in and out during his explanation. It's third party, not directly from Twitch. Yeah, then I'm even more like no one's gonna. This probably won't help the way you want it to. Maybe Twitch will swallow the tech up later. Yeah, that's also not necessarily good. I don't know. I wish him well, whatever he's doing. Twitch integration itself is really cool. I think it's weird to try and do something so meta. Especially, okay, why would I play a game, right? Follow me on this. Why would I ever, in a million years as a streamer, play a video game that's integrated into Twitch and will recommend streamers that aren't me as being recommended because they're playing the game more efficiently, or they're, I don't know, breaking the game, or not communicating with chat, right? Like, but still, you also don't want to give people other streams to go to. Like, you're not trying to be stingy, you're not trying to like steal people's attention, but at the same time you don't want to like tell people to go other places. Especially if you're a variety streamer, you don't want to be like, hey, go check out this guy that's playing the game better than I am. That seems like something I would never opt into. You'll say you don't care about the Twitch integration stuff from a viewer standpoint, but you do like the idea of this tech from an exposure point of view as a developer. I like, as a developer, things that work. And you just also have to understand that it needs to work within the Twitch ecosystem, and that streamers don't point to other streamers. There's like the shout out functionality, but there's not really like a, they're playing this right now, the same game as me, go check them out. Or like anything that would rank you under somebody else that's currently playing the game. Like, all of these things feel like they're really against Twitch streamers. I think the integration is cool. I don't use it myself, but I see streamers that do have captive audiences that really like pushing votes in one direction or the other, choosing dialogue things, you know, the meta stuff of like make AIs harder or make them easier, give you boons or difficulties. I get all that, and it's all at least somewhat engaging. I also get the like using Twitch viewers' names because they're more invested in the stream and less likely to leave. All of these things keep people there and not push them to other streams. And make it fun. So I like the idea of Twitch integration. I think people spending more time watching my game will lead to more people wanting to play my game, and then better word of mouth. And having people just like, I think the opposite, like the other thing that we're talking about of pushing people up for performing better in the game and then spotlighting other streamers is at best neutral. I also don't think you're going to have a great experience as a viewer if you're constantly being bombarded with like recommendations to go other places. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old man yelling at clouds, but I also can see where this would either backfire or just like read the room, bro. I don't think anybody actually wants this. You're using the buzzwords people want, like exposure. People love that. Exposure for small streamers, like amazing. You just got everyone's attention. And then the way you implement it, performance-based stuff integrated into a stream that's not part of a first-party Twitch feature, just sounds like a trash fire. Okay. I mean, you said I don't know. Maybe we'll back off this topic because I don't know what it is, and I'm just going off what you explained to me. It sound you don't fully know. You're not the developer of it. Other things. It's Friday. It's 5:20 on a Friday. Um, any weekend plans? I should definitely take a look. I will. I was well, first off, what is their name? Not sure yet because of sickness. Fair. Do you have a sickness regimen? Would you like binge TV? Is there a game you would play? Are you just gonna lay in bed and die? All good, no matter what you do. Um, Echelon from November Games. All right, let me check that out. I was thinking about doing just my own Steam integration in life. Did I say Steam? I meant Twitch. But I would want that probably to be pretty specific. And I'm not sure how I would want that to play out in the game. That is noted. Play embedded die. If the eggs kick in. Last time you got them, you were basically crippled, even with Tylenol, laying in bed. Sorry, I never got COVID. Thank God. Yeah, I avoided that. But I don't leave the house much. If they get worse, because you kind of have them already. Hopefully, it's just a bad cold. What is this on? Weird. I wonder how much biome sampling is going to be affected by the shift I just. That could be worth running around for, I don't know, half an hour. We'll see. Find a good biome. Shift. All right, yeah, that's not a bad thing. Honestly, maybe not the easiest color for me. I mean, weird how that wasn't lining up. Now it is. I feel like I should be. If you're not a corpse tomorrow, you might hit up the alley cat race. See some friends from a distance. From a distance, of course. Makes sense. The alley cat race. Sounds good. All sorts of hanging out with Zombie, hanging out with the wife a bit, talk with a colleague, scheduled phone call. I'm able to get some other dev work. Someone me? Org. Okay. Forest. Yeah. Feels like it's. Guess I can't test the sampling. So I crashed the stream right at the beginning of stream, 20 minutes in. And the thing I'm using to debug some of the world's offset bits, I think the culprit. I have to do that. Maybe I'll do that over the weekend. Oh, and then Vampire Survivors, of course. That new update. Be amazing. Is the wife and I are gonna have to reach a whole new level of teamwork. Sometimes we see different goals. It leads to the inability of either of us to reach a goal. Sometimes we're on the same page and it's magic. Trine was a very tricky game. Vampire Survivors, how can that go wrong? I mean, we do kind of have different tastes in weapons. Forg. Ah. Oh god, they're all right next to me. Hey, I don't think those rocks help my friend at all. How am I to figure out how games render just like a million? With variety, right? Like we can obviously instance one thing over and over all over the place. How do you do? I don't know. Can you really just handle 20 props? 20 different instancers on the same piece of brain? On your drugs? Just sleep through it? Self-induced coma? Oh, you mean the sickness? I hope you mean the sickness, not the, rendering thousands of things. Drugs might help with that, but maybe a bit risky and very temporary. I want a different biome. Need a reminder that Zombie got a song for that? Nice. Oh, let's see if it works. Oh yeah, okay, that worked. Better than typing in humblebundle.com. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, this is the jam from back in the day. Brownie points if someone can tell me which movie it was featured. That sounds familiar. And I wish I had a better memory. You're gonna have to tell me. Zombieland? It's a good movie. I would watch that again. Actually, I think the wife never saw Zombieland. Maybe that's a thing to watch. There's another movie we were talking about recently. I was like, I don't know if you'd love it, but you might love it. We should watch it. Oh, I've never seen it. I'll have to keep turning it over. Dawn of the Dead? Oh, yeah. The newish version. Yeah, obviously. I mean, it's a zombie movie. Okay, that's a weird color for mangrove. But sure. Do we transition? We're in city. Okay. Move the player around. Water. That's whatever that is. Green. That's let's see. That's definitely off. Here. And it goes on for a while. Still says so. Still sampling. Take off by one. Sad for Mitch Hedberg. And Mitch Hedberg was amazing. But I remember someone like doing a memorial for him in high school. A long time ago. Feel sad about Bill Murray? Bill Murray will live on in our hearts forever. Him dying in the movie? Yeah, in the movie. But he played himself. Yeah, Mitch Hedberg. He was really good. Oh, there was someone else that I don't know if they passed at the same time. I don't think they necessarily did, but is it Bill Hicks? I feel like in high school there's a big like Bill Hicks and Mitch Hedberg thing. Everyone I knew loved him. Hicks was early 90s. Well, he got popular again around Mitch Hedberg's passing. Mitch used to be amazing. He still is, but he used to be too. I mean, he's a bit dead now, but yes. Good reference. Mitch enlightened us about the quality of photos of Bigfoot. Now we have UAPs, but no Mitch, so nobody knows what to do. Yeah, fair. Still relevant to this day. Yeah, it was. I have a random zombie George R. R. Martin. This is amazing. I have not seen this. Is this good? So what even is this? Your new Brian David Gilbert? No. Never show me old stuff. Alright, I got excited for a second. Best zombie series ever? Okay. Action, fun, comedy, heart. I could look into that. E-Nation. Nation. The Walking Dead can't compete. I watched like the first episode. I wasn't really thrilled. Maybe it's something to do with the fandom. People got like real into that. Like lost levels into it. And I like don't even think there's that much of a mystery there. I don't know, it's confused me a bit. Like I get that it was a lot of action and some guy with a crossbow being a dick. If you like the first episode of Z Nation, you will love the rest. I like that. That sounds like a good guarantee. Mangroves will be for one. Wait, no, it already shifted. Where does that cross the line? I think that I am not continuing. At a certain point, scanning a single axis. They pick up very quick, no boringness for about 12 episodes before something happens. That sounds good. Yeah, I need things to happen fast. Lower budget can be fine as long as they're thoughtful about their camera angles and having enough light. Find their way real quick. There was a. Was there a movie just called Zombie? I feel like it was an Australian flick, and I really loved it. It was like everyone turned into a zombie, obviously. And then it was like a comedy film for most of it. Then, yeah, I don't know if I want to give away the end. It was very low budget. I think they spent all of their budget flipping a car and having it explode. So good. I think one of the main characters is like a guy in overalls wearing like nothing else, and every once in a while he'll like manifest a shotgun, and everyone's like, "Where did you get that?" I really enjoyed that. That was my cult flick back in the day. I found it at a gas station for like $3. Had to buy it. Did not regret it. don't think I've seen the zombie series though. There's lots of movies. That's where right on the line. Yeah, okay, this is definitely doing the scan line. I wish I could do it without having the memory leak that crashes OBS. Every time I have one of these issues, terrified that like my game's just not gonna be streamable. And then what kind of game do I have? I still have Hardcore Harry on my list. Do they have a sequel? I feel like it might have had a sequel, that's why I want to see it. I liked the first one. No, I just can't trigger it. My brain's just... Henry. I'm sure I would have figured it out. Oh, fixed. Hardcore Henry, yeah. Been on my list. First person action movie. Very chill. What was that one? Did it have a song? Oh, Get Him to the Greek. That's it. It doesn't have a sequel. Yeah, she hasn't seen that, and I thought that she's either going to really love it for reasons, or she's going to really not like it for Russell Brand. But I liked him in that. This. Oh my. I'd be touching this. I shouldn't touch it until I can have my proper debug tools, otherwise I'm just flailing in the dark. Inventory. Need to make a sacrificial script. Customizer? Naming things. Sacrifice did. It's perfect. Why am I overthinking it? Cool. This is going to make life so much easier. We just need a public name object. It's going to be the prefab. We need other stuff. List of points. Sounds right. Public, probably just game objects. Connection points. What else do we even need in here? Wave function. The name. I'm lighter. Bounds. I guess that would also be part of the sacrifice. So we don't need the name in prefab anymore. Sacrificial one, we're gonna need to. I don't really need to destroy anything. Lingers. Okay, I'm gonna redo a lot of this. We start with a wave. So that's fine. But then the collider's not quite the collider. Yeah, that's good enough. Nation, totally. Recommendation without hesitation. Cool. I would say the same thing for 1899. I tried to recommend 1899 to another set of friend over the weekend, and they thought we were recommending some other historical piece that is a follow-up to Yellowstone, and they started explaining Yellowstone to us, and we were all very confused as to whether it's related or not, but we think it's not. Anywho, yeah, 1899 was really. Netflix has been actually kind of killing it with some first-party productions recently. All our data is here. This is now .c. There. Yes. For each forms anymore, I think they're game objects. The what? Connection point. Okay, that's reasonable. And the prop, it's not that. It is WFSD dot prefab. Cool. So prefab doesn't need to have a slider on it. Doesn't need to have any sort of data on it. No mono behavior. Just in the scene. Points to a prefab that has none of that. Theory. Touch it. Now we just need to remember how to use it. 1899, watched it. It's kind of here and there, not your favorite type. Well, I'm sorry if I steered you wrong. Wife and I enjoyed it. Entertaining the whole way through. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you'll never guess the ending. Like, no, you could probably guess the ending from the beginning. You don't answer, you're still asleep. Fair. Yeah, I'll hit you up tomorrow. Well, tomorrow I have full time, I think. Yeah, I'll hit you up in the morning and you'll know that I'm alive. And then yeah, as per usual, just assume that you're sleeping until you're not. Read this, get this first, and then see here. Okay, should be good. I could still pick up? Oh, wait, what episode are you on? Oh, yeah, I don't think there's a second season. I think the wife even said that there wasn't going to be a second season, but I liked it as a standalone. Yeah, maybe a little bit weird, but yeah, I think I like miniseries right now. The idea that you can have a contained 8 to 10 episode story that I can get sucked into and binge, I'll take it all day, any day. So, what have you been watching recently? Anything good? Besides, I guess my dud recommendations. Can't trust me. Man, why do I feel like this? Try it, I guess. See if there's any bugs, errors. We got this done. We were just on fire today. Incredible, very, almost too productive. Things. Or does it matter? I guess it doesn't even matter now, right? I could like use a cube. Cube represents things. Cube has collider on it already. We can have things under it. We can do spheres for the placement points. Miniseries is a much better format for a lot of titles. Movie format is so freaking destructive to source materials. It is. It really is. Movies are like nice, but I think movies should be written for the movie format. Like if you feel like you can tell an adequate story within, between an hour and 3 hours. No offense, Bollywood, but yeah, between an hour and 3 hours, go for it. Try it. Adapting for movies, that's really awkward. And yeah, you end up gutting it. And I feel like as a moviegoer, I usually want more. I'm like, oh, that was kind of cool. A lot of stuff happened. I could tell that this had a lot of stuff they had to cut, and they had to jump between the most exciting bits, which is exciting, but also like a little bit head spinning. I totally agree. I like miniseries. I hope that's kind of something we do more going forward. Which so far so good. Uh, yeah, Netflix has really kind of built up the miniseries environment. Yeah, 1899. I was actually surprised that it wasn't supposed to just be a miniseries. I think the wife told me it was a miniseries. I was like, okay, this is good. I like this. Pacing is good. It's this many episodes. And then we were recommending it to a friend, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it didn't get renewed for a second season, so it's kind of like complete." Like, wait a second. I feel like I didn't even know this. Probably better than I didn't know. Though, like, a show being canceled on Netflix doesn't mean anything. Cube? That's your action points. These need to be aimed like street. Something simple. Alright. Point outwards. So we cube can connect in two places. It has its slider to say how big it is, where things are. Name it start. I think we. This one is a house. But in a different place, I guess. In the mid. up a sec. Good. Now, what I do? Not debugging. Here we go. We'll say some sort of data. This by this plus. I think we need the name, but we might end up. Okay, a little bit of data. Service, what this actually needs to select thing. I have a scriptable object I need to fill. This is double check functions. Is this a problem? It's not actually be a slight hiccup. I'm going to try it anyway. No ref, what a surprise. Wait, really? Oh, that's egg on my face. That's an easy one. If you don't exist, we don't need to workflow. Oh, well, it created it. It didn't print anything out. Right, the positions seem to be. Well, I'm happy that we got that far. It's pretty good. Can we actually clear it? All right. Oh, we clear here. Okay. So yeah, if we do it twice, it shouldn't add anything. Good. Cool. That works. Man, today was productive. Just have to figure out the position problem. Hopefully that's small. Sometimes it's weird. Yeah, no. Having something right. More or less. Any about that time. Couple of things to inject window update. We'll fix that over the week. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, yeah, very productive day. Very good day. Let's wrap up. Let's raid, unless someone has someone else that they're going to see. We'll go to Kana. Make it a skirt. We know the hardships of making 3D printable skirts, right? Maybe just a little. Alright, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. All my lurkers, my chatters, my VOD watchers, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope to see you again on Monday between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will pick up where we left off. One of the many things we left off. Anywho, it's been wonderful. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great weekend. I hope to see you on Monday. Jump in the Discord, find out, updates, alerts when I go live, share what you're working on, all those fun things. Yeah. Besides that, I think that's everything. I'll see you later. Bye bye. Have a great one.